let's talk a little bit about our economy. This isn't going to be an in-depth scientific exploration of the science of economics. This is just basic when you think about it. One point in time, U.S. made goods. The A, B, C, D, and E just represent different industries. It could be a toy industry, textiles, so forth. Well, we were making all the goods, and each one of these would then buy from the other different industries. If you worked in electronics, you bought clothes and benefited this particular industry. And there was a few goods coming in from other countries. Not very many. This red indicates what's kind of flowing back and forth. Well, then some different industries got the idea of having their product made in other countries. You talk about it, the different wages that were paid. And some of these countries are paying 19 cents an hour, so it just makes sense. So for like this particular industry, Industry A, they certain portions of this industry sent their jobs over to China or down to Mexico. Well, they were doing very well. They were still selling their product just like before. Probably no reduction in price even. Making huge profits. The people that were in the this particular industry over in the United States were then hurting. Because they weren't making as much profit, especially when these over here started lowering their prices just a little bit to become more competitive. So then these had to lower their prices. Until all of a sudden it didn't make any sense for them to be over here. They needed to have all the goods made over in Bangladesh, for example. So that industry's gone. Okay, well these are still going strong, and you can imagine instead of 5, imagine 500, and they're even these people are happy. You know, their price. Let's say this is shoes. Their shoes cost less now. They could go down to their local Walmart or Target and maybe even buy $5 shoes. I remember one pair I bought was $5. It's like, man, you can't beat this. This saves me a lot of money, which, everybody needs a little bit of extra money. So everybody's happy. Well, then another industry does the same thing. Well, then our prices go down here. These people are happy. Some of their prices are going down on items they buy. But these people over here are no longer employed. Or maybe they're in lower paying jobs. So there's not as many people buying these. And they would get you thinking of the global economy that instead of people in these industries, A and B, that these people over in China, down in Mexico, are buying those goods. That's partially true. But when you're making 19 cents an hour in, let's say, Bangladesh, you don't have any extra money to come over to buy anything made in the U.S. So they're misleading you, thinking that's true. Take another industry, send it over there. And pretty soon you see these industries starting to disappear, and so there's nobody buying these goods. So they have to then save on their costs, so they want to send it over to other countries. So it's a horrible thing happening here, because you have these different industries disappearing. Well, politicians in the meantime are not helping anything because they're passing trade agreements, NAFTA and so forth, and it looks like our exports are increasing. Well, if I'm having goods made in Mexico, and then I ship them to the United States, and then I send it to China, yeah, my exports are increasing. Are the jobs increasing in the United States? No. They're increasing down in Mexico. So the exports look good. So numbers are misleading. I teach statistics, and I know what you can do with the statistics to show this or that. And but when you think about it from a common sense standpoint and what we're seeing in our country, then you see this happening. These people over here, again, they're making them very low wages, not enough to hardly even support themselves. And these corporations over here are real happy because they still have people in the United States buying these goods. And when they see it, the amount being bought reduced, they can reduce the price. But when you're paying somebody 19 cents an hour, yeah, you can lower your price and still make a lot of money. So record profits are happening over here. Jobs loss, according to the Wall Street Journal and Fox Business, 2.7 million jobs have been lost to China between 2001 and 2011. Now, that's just between 2001 and 2011. You know, it happened way back when. I remember back in the 80s seeing this startup. And of course, I had talked to everybody till I was blue in the face. Nobody really listened. It's just like, I don't care. I'm getting by my pants $1 cheaper. Well, the best guess, when you take into account not between 2001 and 2011, and all the other countries we have lost jobs to, textiles and so forth, best guess, 12 million jobs have been lost total. So what? Well, this tax revenue lost is a big one, and that, of course, corresponds to our standard of living also. You got 10 million jobs times an average tax of 10,000. Now you're sitting there saying, well, we don't pay that much in tax. You might be shocked when you include in all the different taxes, when you include in the manufacturer's tax being passed down to you. I'd be shocked if it's less than this. That equals $100 billion per year. But the government is having to take care of people more and more, so probably it's more like $200 billion per year. And it's just getting worse. Jobs being lost to Mexico. I ate some fruit snacks from Walmart recently. Harder than a rock, and I'm sitting there. Whoa, this is out of date. I'm looking for the date because I'm sure it's 3 or 4 months out of date. And date looks good, and I think, well, that's kind of weird. And then I get looking, and it's made in Mexico. So it looks like our exports are doing well. You know, we're maybe exporting our food products, our basic food products, and to Mexico. Well, in turn, then they're in factories and being made into different products like fruit snacks, and then they're being sent back up to here. And so it looks like our exports are increasing and so forth, but instead of sending the food to someplace in the United States, we're sending it down to Mexico. And you hear people talk about this. Democrats blame Republicans. Republicans blame Democrats. You get people blaming legal immigrants. And they'll get everybody blaming everybody else. And that's their goal. The Democrats want you to blame the Republicans. The Republicans want you to blame Democrats. Want you to blame illegal immigrants. Everything except seeing what the real problem is. And, people say, well, I lost my job to legal immigrant. Well, maybe. But the majority of the jobs they're coming up here and stealing is probably not jobs we want to work at anyway. They're working on top of a roof in the middle of summer, 110-degree temperatures. They're standing out in the road in the worst temperatures you can imagine. They're working in motels. I worked in a motel for 8 months. My wife lost her job, and we get a lot of people applying for being maids. Well, I don't remember one person didn't look like they were a legal immigrant applying. Because if that's your life goal to pick up used condoms in a motel, then there's something wrong with your what you've set your sights for. If we're willing to set our sights so low, we need to demand our jobs back. And it's a very easy fix. Politicians are not going to fix it for you. They do not create jobs. They obviously don't save jobs. You need to fix it. Plain and simple. There's one simple fix to it. Is if you buy made in the U.S., then you will save American jobs. You will bring back our industries. Now you're maybe sitting there saying, well, that can't be done. You might be surprised. If you do enough looking around, you will find these products made in the U.S. Now, not all of them. You won't find a TV made in the U.S. There's in certain industries where it's not. But if the trend is to where we're buying more and more made in the U.S., they will come back. Because you'll get somebody saying, hey, I'm going to start manufacturing this here in the United States. And then everybody starts buying that, and then that wipes out the others. So there's no way to fix it, no way to blame but ourselves. We're the ones that have gone out there and bought those made in Bangladesh, made in Mexico, made in China goods. It's not them in other countries. They just want to earn a living just like anybody else. It's not corporations. They just want to make some money. You can't blame them. It's not the politicians. They're bought and paid for by the corporations, so they're doing what they're paid to do. It's us. It's us making the effort to buy made in the U.S. Now, the last 2 Christmases, I've went to Walmart, and I bought made in the U.S. It was hard. It was very hard. But you can find products made in the U.S. This last time, I didn't buy as many toys because my kids are older. There's websites you can go to. I think I've been able to find about anything I want. Shoes is kind of iffy. New Balance has some still made in the U.S., but tennis shoes wise, that's hard to find. Well, you're sitting there maybe saying, well, I want my kids to be happy at Christmas time. I don't want them to be disappointed by buying this shirt or something that isn't in style. Well, that's nice. You want your kids to be happy, but maybe you want a future for them. Maybe you want to rebuild this economy. Give them something for the future. It's something other than a nice shirt they can wear for a couple years, or maybe even 2 months. I don't, from my standpoint, I don't even care if they're foreign-made corporations that come in the United States. Honda, it's got their plant down in Tennessee, I think, or somewhere down there. Who cares where the millionaire is? Just as long as the jobs are here. Because if the jobs are here, then we got a decent lifestyle, and things will take care of themselves. Well, I'm going to put a link out in Facebook where you can go to find a letter you can use to send to Walmart, to Target, to whatever. What I encourage everybody to do is first start buying made in the U.S. and start off slow because it's hard. Make a decision to buy 10% of your items this year made in the U.S. and then maybe increase that each year. Next year, do 20%, 30%. And, it's like don't keep track of it, type of deal, but you get the idea. I'd say it's fantastic if you decided to do 100%. That's going to be my goal. I may slip and buy a few, but for the most part, I'm going to try to do 100% made in the U.S. I'm not going to eat any more fruit snacks. My wife's happy about that. Maybe I'll lose some weight. Recently, Hostess went under. And one of the gas stations here replaced the Hostess with Mexican-made pastries. Well, it's really nice for Mexico. And for the corporations, maybe they've invested in that, but that's not very good for U.S. jobs. The anti-union people would have you blaming the unions. And like I say, it's a blame game. Has nothing to do with that. It's us. It's a consumer. The ones buying it. You're the ones that's doing this. It's nobody else. It's not the unions. When you compare 19 cents an hour to our minimum wage, $8 an hour, there's no choice. I mean, you look at it, they don't have any choice. 19 cents an hour, that's where I want to be. If I'm a corporation, I can make huge amounts of profit. So anyway, I will put a letter up, and I'll put a link to it, so you can just basically sign it and send it on to your particular Walmart or Target or whatever big box store there is. We'll also put links up to their website, so if you just want to send an email. Spend half an hour for your future. And then make a conscious effort. I'll put links up for the Made in U.S. Companies. There's a lot of them out there. You don't see them much in our big box stores where we go to. A lot of them you have to order online, but they still exist. And we can still turn this around. Um, anyway, nothing my getting up on my soapbox. Hope you have a great day.